Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
That's what I tell them. I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. Hot or cold, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles. Go take care of your business. Success Chronicles. It's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with another episode of the Success Chronicles. And today we have Kira Day with us. She is a big-time business lady, big-time coach, doing some things to help make our world a better place. And I'm so thankful to have her on this episode of the Success Chronicles. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm really honored to be a part of this. So thank you, Chip.
All right. Well, let's dive into it. Talk to us about your life story and track your story till now, please.
Oh my God, where do I start? Well, I live in Canada and I moved here from Trinidad as a first generation. So I don't have a very unique story, unfortunately. As most first generations know, it's a hard game. You know, my parents sacrificed a lot to ensure that we had a better life and all of that kind of stuff. And in that journey, there was a lot of adversity. I experienced a ton of bullying. I'm just this small white kid with a really thick Trinidadian accent coming into a new place. It's just, you become a target, right? And I've always been very opinionated and I've always had a very loud mouth. So that's also creates a little bit of a target. So, that was tough. It was tough learning an entirely new culture. It was tough seeing my parents have to, drive at a different level. We actually moved here because my parents experienced a fire that took out basically all of their life savings.
Wow.
So it was tough, seeing them have to break down and rebuild was challenging. But you don't know how to compare those things when you're a kid. It's what so you adapt to that. And so my life, coming from very humble beginnings was all about, how do I change my spots and how do I create success? And it was hard in the beginning. I was down working 3 jobs, trying to fit school in there and a whole bunch of other things. And it was a hard game until I started to get really clear about what it was that I truly wanted. And when that happened, I realized working the 3-job game wasn't going to deliver, right? So I did some out of the box, bold moves, and I got myself into executive sales. And in a 6-year time period, I ramped it hard, and I probably quadrupled my income in that time and experienced a lot of success in that. Now, as anyone knows who's experienced adversity, your threshold becomes really big for bullshit. So along that way, I drove myself to burnout twice. And it wasn't burnout like, look at me, I'm feeling tired and wasted. It was burnout to the fact that I created about 3 autoimmune conditions within myself, and I got really sick. So the first one, I should have probably learned my lesson, but I kept driving at the same pace, and that wasn't sustainable. And, the truth is society rewards you for that stuff. When you're in the game and you're hustling and everyone around you is like, yeah, look at you go, and you're getting rewarded for basically treating your body in the worst way possible and, having no boundaries and all of that kind of stuff. But I was successful, right? And so you look around you and you see other people driving to the same measure, and you're saying to yourself, well, this is what normal is. And you climatize to that pace, and it becomes an echo chamber, really. So, you think that you're just doing what you're supposed to do, and it's a lot of suffering, and it's a lot of BS. the second time that I got sick, though, it really hit me pretty hard, because I did not have regular symptoms at that point. There were really, really terrifying symptoms, as a matter of fact. And I got to a point where, it was like my body basically said, you can keep moving, but this is where I stop. So whatever you want to do, go ahead and do it, but I'm done.
Yeah, I don't know what you're thinking, but I'm done. Okay.
But I'm done.
Yeah.
So, that was hard for me. It was very humbling. I had to do a major, major reset. I must have spent over about 35 grand, looking for solutions and looking at different modalities, because going to the medical doctors here, they just couldn't find what was going on. And that wasn't good enough for me, because I was like, I'm type A, right? So I'm like, what do you mean you don't know what it is? Okay, well, if you don't know what it is, I'm going to find it out myself.
Somebody does. Yeah.
Somebody's got it.
Yeah.
So, and that actually opened my eyes, Chip, in a way that my eyes have never been open before. Like I seriously went out to explore everything: Chinese medicine, homeopathy. I went out into a lot of the naturopath kind of worlds. And I also hired on different types of coaches and different types of modalities as well. And what I thought was going to be a search to understand what was wrong with me became a search to understand what was right with me. And it was a very deep exploration that I went into. And when the pieces started to come together and make sense, and I started to get myself better again, there was something that was very strong and rooted at the front of me. And that was that there were all of these things that I didn't know, that I should have known, that we all should have known, that we all should know. And it just created this high level of passion within me to figure out a way to get this out into the world, but not only get this out into the world as a message, but build an infrastructure to try to figure out how we can get more people to understand more about themselves, so they don't have to get themselves to the position that I did, or many of us, because like I said, I'm not a unique story. This happens to many, many, many people. It's actually an epidemic. I mean, Gallup, they do world reports on how people are feeling about the work they do, right? 87% of people globally are disengaged with their work. Now, that's not good enough for me, when 47% of people here in Canada are unhappy with the work that they do. And you take a look at those numbers, and you also take a look at the fact that our work takes up about 60 to 80% of our waking hours. When you look at that from a macro level, that's 60 to 80% of our life when we think about it, right? So if we're not happy there, that funnels into every other aspect of what we do: our relationships, our family units, who we are, our health, all of that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what led me on to this mission right now, which basically is just that. It's getting self-intelligence to the masses, and then creating more aligned lifestyles and more aligned career options or professions that really help them to be optimal human beings, right? And then in that state of optimal, you become optimal for other people that then become optimal to others, and so forth and so forth and so forth. And then it becomes exponential from there. So that kind of is where I'm at now.
I like that. We talked a little bit off air about, looking within to win. And I think when you do what you just explained, it allows you to be the best version of yourself, but not just for yourself. It allows you to be the best, because really at the end of the day, it ain't about you, right? It's not about us, know, and what it's about is what we have to do is be the best version of ourselves, so that we are of maximum benefit to those that are around us and that we love, our teams, the people that we're involved with. And in order for us to do that, we have to be the best version of ourselves.
It is so true. But to be the best version of ourselves, we got to know what that first looks like.
Yes. Amen. Yep.
that's really where it starts, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, so that's the mission.
All right. Well, what are 3 things you've accomplished in your life that you're proud of?
Um, I think for me, it was achieving the first goal. The first goal was to change my spots, and I did that successfully. The second goal was in my past life was all about being the best at my craft, mastering my craft, and mastering my craft to me was about taking in. So I was in sales back in the day. So the second place was about getting to the top of my game. I ended up landing 2 of the biggest deals in my company's history. So that was a pretty big deal, something I am very proud of.
And what company was that?
That was for Samsung Electronics.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So it was a pretty big deal. And then for now, it's really about birthing this vision that I have and creating something here that hopefully outlives me, right? And serves the planet in a much bigger way.
I like that. I like the way you say that because it's definitely about legacy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And it's about legacy and community, right? The community of people that we have now, and the community of people that will outlive us, and the community of people that will come after us. And if we're not looking out for that, then why are we here?
One word. Boom. It's not over yet though, but I'm just want to put the boom in there. Well, let's hit on success. What is your definition of success?
Man, success is a big word, and it's meant so many different things to me over my lifetime.
Yeah.
I think right now it's actually less about success. I think success is like it's the outcome of something else, right? So it's a metric. It's something that tells you, hey, you've accomplished X. So for me, it's about how do I create I use this word a lot, I overuse it, but it's how do I create optimal? And optimal for me is about, how do I get to a place where I'm clearing all my shit, where I'm taking out all of my past wounds, where I'm getting myself to a level where I can function as my highest self or the highest version of me. And how do I bring people with me on that journey so that we're all kind of there dancing the same game? And when I get to that place, I feel as though success is just going to be a natural byproduct of that.
Totally agree with that. And you said the O word. You said you use it a lot, but I think it's a big word, optimal.
Yeah.
I think that kind of sets the bar of what you're working towards. I think, and that's just personally things that you like to achieve, the way you want to achieve it, and I think also there's another word that it goes in line with optimal, and that's maximizing. I think when you do things that are optimal each day, you maximize your potential.
Yes, I love that. You're so right. You're so right.
Thank you. Well, if you don't mind sharing with the audience where they can go follow you and support you and show you some love with your program that you have going on.
That's amazing. Yeah. I actually have quite a few programs that I'm running right now. I'm leaving in 11 days to Tuscany, Italy, where we're going to be doing like a leadership group out there. It's for my venture called Vacation with Purpose. And it's all about getting leaders and focusing on leaders to get out, break up with their day-to-day, go out in nature and really reset the paradigm and understand and go back to reconnect to who they are so that they can get out there and inspire the people that they need to, right? Because uninspired leaders don't inspire anybody. So it's all about creating the environment to allow that to happen. So that's happening. The second one is called my Passion Masterclass, which has transformed over the years. Right now, it's about, getting people to the level that I was, which is how do we work through all of the internal stuff so that we can not only find clarity around what our passion is, but how do we get that passion and service the world in a good, positive way, right? So So that leads into my next program, which is Build Your Dream. And Build Your Dream is just that. It's a dream that you have in your heart that the world needs, but instead of keeping it in your heart, it's about letting it out and really kind of creating ventures around that supports that mission. And so those are my big ones right now. I've got some other ones, but they're being in the development stages. Yeah.
Man, well, that's all good stuff.
Thank you. And so if you want to follow me, LinkedIn is where I'm at most of the time. It's Kira, Kira, and last name Day, D-A-Y. I'm on Instagram, and my website is www.thepassioncenter.com. Center spelled with an R-E, not an E-R.
There you go. Well, there you go. Well, again, thanks so much for taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles and for dropping those nuggets on us that we can all learn from and take and use in our life to help us be better. And I truly appreciate that.
My pleasure. And thank you so much for giving me the platform to be able to share this as well. Really appreciate what you're doing. You're doing some amazing stuff. So congratulations to you too.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, thank you guys for checking out this episode. We'll see you next time. God bless.
Bye for now.
Go get it.